It begins with a moment of pure, unfiltered chaos. A woman tuning in for a virtual court proceeding decides to light up a cigarette right on camera, earning an immediate and icy reprimand from the judge. But this bizarre prelude is just the opening act for the real drama. In the courtroom, a defendant named Richard Blanco stands before the same judge, his freedom hanging by a thread. He paints a picture of a reformed man, a new business owner, a churchgoer, a loving father. He begs for one last chance to stay out of prison. But the prosecutor is about to take that picture and tear it to shreds, exposing a shocking history of drug dealing, deadly weapons, and a flat-out refusal to follow the rules. This isn't just a hearing, it's a high-stakes collision between a desperate plea for mercy and the cold, hard facts of a criminal record.
Dorothy Garcia, unmute yourself.
Oh, unmute. Oh, here it is. Hello? I'm here.
Hello.
Hi.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but you're not allowed to smoke in a courtroom. Do you understand?
Yes.
And you were smoking on screen, and this court does not allow that. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if there is another incident of inappropriate behavior on this screen, you will be removed from the screen. Do you understand?
You can't make this stuff up. The hearing hasn't even officially started, and Judge Boyd is already forced to lay down the law about smoking in her courtroom. This isn't the defendant, but it immediately sets a tone of disrespect and chaos that looms over the entire proceeding. It's a small moment, but it's telling. It shows that for some, the gravity of a courtroom, even a virtual one, simply doesn't register. Now, with that unexpected bit of housekeeping out of the way, the focus shifts to the man at the center of today's hearing, Richard Blanco. He isn't here to argue his guilt or innocence. That's already been decided. The judge has found that he violated his probation. The only question left is the price he'll have to pay. Will it be another chance, or will it be a prison cell?
Now, your son's attorney is speaking to your son in a breakout room. So wait patiently, and he will be on the screen shortly.
Okay, yeah.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And to the courtroom, could I have Mr. Blanco on screen? Thank you. Brenna, are you ready? All right, the court is calling. (2019) CR 0192 and 2019 CR 0193, State of Texas versus Richard Blanco. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Tom Nisbet.
For the defense? Mr. Toshi, we cannot hear you.
How about now?
Yes.
Okay.
So for the defense?
James Tochi, Judge.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
None.
Any objection from the defense?
No, ma'am.
And for the record, this hearing was actually scheduled for March 8th, but the defendant requested that he be in the courtroom. And therefore,
Richard Blanco is now sworn in and speaking directly to the judge. This is his moment to make his case, to plead for his freedom. The defense attorney has set the stage perfectly, reminding him of the two possible outcomes: continued probation or a trip to prison. Blanco is about to present himself as a man who has finally seen the light. He's going to talk about his new business, his family, and his newfound commitment to doing the next right thing. As a viewer, this is the moment to lean in and listen closely. Is his story genuine? Does his remorse feel authentic? Or is this a performance, a last-ditch effort to say whatever it takes to avoid the consequences of his actions? The judge is listening to every word, and the prosecutor is waiting in the wings, ready to challenge everything he says.
The defendant is in the courtroom today. This is one of the days where the courtroom is allowed to have in-person hearings. And cause number 2019 CR 0192, the court found violations of conditions 5, 5, 5, 15U, and 1 true. And cause number 2019 CR 0193, the court found allegations 5, 5, 5, 15U, and 1 true. We are here for the court's decision on as it relates to sentencing. Are both the state and the defense ready?
State's ready.
Yes, Judge.
All right. State, this is the motion that you filed with the court. So you are first to go. Do you have any witnesses? State.
Witnesses, no, Judge.
All right. Defense, do you have any witnesses?
Unless Mr. Blanco wants to address the court, I do not, Judge.
All right, Mr. Blanco, would you like to address the court?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. If you could raise your hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Could you state your name for the record, please?
Richard Blanco.
All right, defense.
Richard,
And there it is, the defendant's pitch for mercy. Richard Blanco lays it all out. A new business, a foundation for foster kids, a close connection to the church through his wife and mother-in-law. He admits he has a drug problem and doesn't always make the best decisions, framing his recent good behavior on GPS monitoring as proof of his potential. On the surface, it's a compelling narrative of redemption. He's an imperfect man who is finally trying to build a better life. But now, the momentum is about to shift dramatically. The prosecutor steps up to the plate for cross-examination. His job isn't to be compassionate, it's to poke holes in this story and remind the court of the reality of Blanco's record. The defense's gentle questioning is over, and the real interrogation is about to begin.
Judge Boyd has a few options today. You understand she can put you in prison, right?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that she can also keep you on probation.
Yes, sir.
What is it that you would like Judge Boyd to know about you before she makes that decision?
That I finally made it to own my own business, as I was out there for that little bit of time that I was given when I was on GPS. I've just been heading towards the right direction. Basically, been going to church. I have my wife and kids here with me right now, and my mother-in-law also. They're all very close with the church, and I just haven't. I mean, I haven't all this little bit of time that I have was out there, and I've just been trying to do the next right thing. Really, I'm started a foundation for foster kids. Also, it's through the county. I'm signed with the county. I have my DBA, all that, and just if you can just give me this chance, basically, so I could finish out everything that I've started. And that's about
Richard, Richard, do you have a drug problem?
it. Yes, I do.
Are you asking for help?
Yes, sir.
Do you always make the best decision?
The tension just boiled over. The prosecutor's questions are hitting their mark, and Richard Blanco's calm, repentant facade is starting to crack. He's become defensive, trying to talk over the prosecutor to justify his actions, and Judge Boyd has to step in and shut it down. Her intervention is critical. She reminds them that her court reporter, Brenna, can only transcribe one person at a time. But the subtext is clear. She is in control of this courtroom, and she will not tolerate chaos. This moment reveals just how high the stakes are. The prosecutor has clearly struck a nerve by systematically listing the probation violations Blanco conveniently omitted from his story. The defendant is no longer just answering questions, he's fighting back, and in doing so, he might be digging his own grave.
Decisions?
No, I don't. I mean, I am human, but like I said, I've accomplished a lot just in that little 6 months that I was on GPS.
Okay. That's all the questions I have, Judge.
State?
Mr. Blanco, do you feel you've been given a chance by this court already?
With the GPS, yes, and I just felt like I was taken away from it when I came to court. I thought I was doing everything that I was supposed to do, and when I was on GPS and everything was rolling right, and that's why I'm really not understanding why I was incarcerated.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that. Doing everything you're supposed to. Tell me what you think you're supposed to be doing on probation.
As far as staying away from the drugs, as far as staying away from people I'm not supposed to be around. I finally got my ID. I haven't had my ID since I was 18 years old. I'm 29 right now.
Are you supposed to show up to probation? Is that part of probation?
Yes.
That's part of the. Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You'd agree with me that's part of the chances that the judge has given you?
Yes, and I was doing everything I was supposed to. I did do the Zoom. The only thing is
Well, hold on now. I want to ask you some questions about doing everything that you were supposed to, okay? Doing the right thing. You paid attention when we were in court last week, right?
Yes, sir.
This is important to you. It affects your life, so you are paying attention to every bit of it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you heard the judge find it true that you were not showing up to your probation in 2019.
See, but the thing is, that wasn't even my turn.
My question is, you heard the judge find it true that you were not showing up to probation in 2019.
Yes, but that wasn't true though, because that wasn't.
You heard. Hold on.
Okay, so here's the thing, everyone. One.
That was a masterclass in cross-examination. The prosecutor just took Richard Blanco's narrative of being a changed man and systematically dismantled it, piece by piece, using nothing but the defendant's own record. He forced Blanco to admit to the very things he claimed to be moving past, not showing up for probation and being caught with meth and a deadly weapon. The most revealing moment was the exchange about the dismissed felonies. Blanco's argument that if they're dismissed, I didn't do any of that, is incredibly telling. He refuses to see the plea deal as a massive chance he was given. Instead, he sees it as an exoneration. This demonstrates a profound lack of accountability. To him, the problem isn't his behavior, but the fact that he's being held to account for it. The prosecutor has now passed the witness, leaving Blanco's credibility in tatters.
Brenda can only take one person down at one time. So, ask a question. Mr. Blanco, answer the question.
Yes, ma'am.
But I can't have everybody talking over each other because guess what? When I look at the screen for what Brenda's typing down, what I can read, it's very difficult for her when two people are talking at once. All right, next question.
Yes. Okay. You heard the judge find it true that you did not show up to your probation in 2020.
This is a sharp and calculated jab from the prosecutor by pointing out that Richard Blanco brought his small children to court to witness his potential sentencing. He's doing more than just stating a fact. He's attacking Blanco's judgment as a father, a role Blanco himself used as a pillar of his plea for mercy. The prosecution is framing this as an inappropriate act, suggesting it's a manipulative attempt to garner sympathy from the judge. Whether you see this as a fair point or a low blow, it's an effective rhetorical strategy. It recasts Blanco not as a family man trying to do right, but as someone willing to use his own children as props in a courtroom drama. It's a powerful way to undermine the defendant's entire narrative before asking the judge to send him to prison.
Yes.
Okay. You heard the judge find it true that in September of 2020, you had an ounce of meth and a deadly weapon in the car with you. You heard the judge find these things true.
Yes.
Okay. And somebody who is doing everything they're supposed to on probation, we at least agree, is supposed to show up and not get caught with dope and guns. We can agree on that, right?
Yes.
All right. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit more about chances. When you got put on probation in both of these cases, they happened on different days. Back in, was it 2018? The UUMV.
The prosecution rests its case with a brutal, unapologetic demand for prison time. The message is simple. This isn't about a second chance. It's about an 8th or 9th chance. The prosecutor meticulously laid out a timeline of failure, multiple FTAs, a new drug charge with a deadly weapon, and a complete disregard for the court's rules. He frames the original plea deal not as an act of mercy, but as a contract. Blanco bargained for probation, and the agreed-upon penalty for violating that bargain was 2 and 5 years in prison. The state's position is that it's time for him to get the benefit of his bargain. There's no room for negotiation here. The prosecutor is portraying Blanco as a danger to the community and a liability the court can no longer afford. The ball is now in the defense's court for one final desperate argument.
And the drug case that you're on probation for, they're from 2 separate days, right?
Yes.
Okay. And back in 2018, those weren't the only cases you caught, were they?
I'm really not sure.
Okay. Did you have a tampering with evidence in October of 2018 that was dismissed with these pleas?
I don't know.
Okay. Did you have an escape from felony custody or correctional facility August of 2018 that was a part of these pleas?
No, not that I know of.
Okay. Would it surprise you that I'm reading your record and you did?
No. I mean,
Okay.
it's surprising me, yeah. But I don't recall any of that.
Okay. Did you have some other drug charges in 2018 that got dismissed as a part of this plea deal?
No.
No, you didn't? Okay. Well, let me ask you this. If you did, and if those were all dismissed to put you on this felony probation, would you say that was a pretty big chance you were given back in 2018?
Well, if they were dismissed, that means it wasn't that I didn't do any of that.
No, that's not what it means. But my question is, if they were closed out, if they were dismissed, and you can think whatever you want about that, but if they were dismissed because of the pleas, because of the probation, would you agree with me that's a pretty big chance?
Yeah.
6 felonies gets turned into 2 felonies for probation. That's a pretty big chance, isn't it?
This is the moment you know it's over. When a defense attorney practically concedes defeat, the fight is done. He opens by saying he has no misgivings about what the court is likely going to do, and even says the outcome would not be unmerited. This is a stunning admission. He's essentially telling the judge that he understands why his client deserves to go to prison. While he makes a last-ditch request for a treatment program, his tone is one of resignation, not hope. He even validates the prosecution's point, admitting that Blanco only started walking the line because of the specter of prison and a GPS monitor on his ankle. The defense has laid down its sword. There are no more arguments to be made. Richard Blanco's fate now rests entirely in the hands of Judge Boyd.
If they're dismissed, I didn't do any of that.
Okay. But we agree that's a big chance.
Not if I didn't do it.
Okay. All right. We could disagree on that. And that if you're on that chance, doing the right thing is showing up to probation and staying out of trouble. We agreed on that, right?
Yeah.
All right. Judge, I pass the witness.
Defense?
I don't have any other questions, Judge.
All right. Defense, call your next witness.
Judge, I don't have any other witnesses, just argument on disposition.
All right. State, any witnesses?
No, Judge, just argument.
All right. State, you may proceed.
Yeah, Judge. Well, we stand on our evidence that was both judicially noticed by the court as well as the testimony and evidence proffered forth in the hearing. We would gently remind the court that these are straight probations and that the underlyings should be automatic. Mr. Blanco bargained for those underlyings, and we would really say to the court, he can now get the benefit of his bargain. I think he's here asking for the 8th or 9th chance, not the first. I think it's a little bit inappropriate. He brings his small children to court to see this. But that being said, the state is absolutely shocked that he thinks he was out in the world doing what he was supposed to and doing well.
The hammer has fallen. Judge Boyd delivers the sentence, 2 years in state jail and 5 years in prison to be served concurrently. She effectively gave him exactly what the prosecutor asked for, the benefit of the bargain he made when he first accepted probation. But notice the exchange about the therapeutic community. Blanco doesn't even know what it is, highlighting a disconnect from the very help he claims to need. The judge has to explain that it's a drug addiction program, something she can only recommend, not order. He agrees, but his confusion is palpable. The legal part of this hearing is now concluded. Blanco has his sentence, but the judge isn't quite finished with him yet, and what she says next, off the record, is perhaps the most impactful moment of the entire proceeding.
The court has seen that Mr. Blanco was out dealing drugs, that he had a deadly weapon on the court's probation. This is a very serious thing. This is the type of thing that the court doesn't want showing up in the news, in the media, with probationers who are, quote unquote, doing the right thing. Mr. Blanco got 4 felonies TIC'd in the original deal between several offense dates. He set a tremendous amount of leeway for the court. I detailed a chronology that he had an FTA in May of 19, a REWAB in November of 19, another FTA in March of 20, another REWAB in May of 20, and then finally a surety to surrender in September of 2020. The court found true 3 multiple date number 5s, an ounce of meth, a new deadly weapon, new bond violation. Down the road, time will tell what we do with Mr. Blanco's new number 1s, but what we are asking for here today is that you revoke Mr. Blanco and you give him the benefit of his bargain. He bargained for 2 and he bargained for 5. If he did not comply with the terms of the court's probation, that's exactly what he did, and we now ask that he gets the benefit of his bargain.
All right, defense?
Judge,
And just for the record, Mr. Blanco's underlined in 2019 CR 0192 is 2 years, and his underlining in 2019 CR 0193 is 5 years. And defense, I'll hear from you.
Judge, I did discuss both of those with Richard and informed him I did not represent him at those pleas and reminded him that that was basically his problem.
In the end, Richard Blanco's story of redemption wasn't enough to overcome the facts. He asked for one more chance, but the court record showed he'd already been given plenty. After sentencing him to 5 years, Judge Boyd gave him something else, a stern, off-the-record lecture that was part legal authority, part life coach. She cut through his anger and self-pity, reminding him that his choices have consequences, not just for him, but for the young children he brought to court. She reminded him that she gave him probation in the first place because of those kids, hoping he would succeed. Now his only path forward is to use his time in prison to finally change or risk losing his children's lives forever. It was a powerful, personal, and devastating final word. What did you think of the sentence? Was the judge's final speech appropriate? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more courtroom breakdowns.
Promise to the court that if he violated the terms of his probation, that is what he should and could expect. Yeah, and I have no misgivings about what I believe the court is likely going to do, and I'm certainly not going to suggest that it would not be merited. Richard has asked me to ask the court to consider allowing him to go into a treatment such as Safe P. And I can tell you this, I'm not saying that the court should not consider a prison sentence. Richard absolutely could benefit from Safe P. There's no doubt in my mind. In talking to him and the issues that confront him, he does have probably substance abuse issues. I'm sure there are things in his mental capacity that certainly could use a lot of tightening up. And basically, I can tell the court that Richard needs a lot of help learning how basically to conflict resolve and make better choices. When he was telling you about his business in the last 6 months, it's unfortunate that it required a GPS and the specter of prison to get him to walk the line, but he's actually, what he was trying to tell the court was he's been doing very, very well, which he has. And I understand the court looks at that with a bit of a jaded eye because of the situation that he's in, and had hoped that he had done all this when he was first put on probation, as would I, as would Richard. So you only have that other option, Judge. I would ask you to consider it. He's on a good path now, but I understand all the other information that the other side has given you. So we, of course, will defer to you on your decision.
Okay. All right. I want it to be noted for the record that the court, in making its decision, does not consider what the media is going to say, what the public is going to say. The court looks at each case on a case-by-case basis, and the court seeks to make what I hope is always a just decision. And that's what I will do in this case. Mr. Blanco, I've heard all of the testimony that you've given. I remember all the evidence that was received by the court and the testimony that was given by the court. Mr. Blanco, I'm well aware that you're saying that you have drug issues. I understand that. But what I'm going to do in each of these cases, in cause number 2019 CR 0192, I'm going to sentence you to a $1,500 fine, 2 years in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrent with 2019 CR 0193. Time and money will run concurrent. Mr. Blanco, your attorney has said that you have drug issues. Would you like to be considered for the therapeutic community?
I don't know what that is.
All right. Well, the therapeutic community is designed to help you with any type of addictions you may have. I have no authority to force them to place you in the therapeutic community, but if they decide to place you in the therapeutic community, you, well, it does not increase the time of your sentence. You understand? But it's to help you with any other drug issues you have. So would you like for me to request that they place you in the therapeutic community?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. And again, if you don't ask for it, you'll have to ask for it as well. If you do not ask for it, they will not even consider it. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Then in cause number 2019 CR 0193, the court will sentence you to a $1,500 fine, 5 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrent with 2019 CR 0192. And I'll request that you be placed in the therapeutic community. Time and money will run concurrent. In each of these cause numbers, Mr. Blanco, it's my understanding that you did not want to sign the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. So I have been given a copy of both, and I will write here that you refuse to sign. And Mr. Toshi, I'll note for the record that you are by video, and it's impossible for us to have you sign one, send it to me without, and somehow avoiding your client's signature. The system doesn't allow us to do that. So, okay. Mr. Blanco, and cause number 2019 CR 0192, you do have a limited right to appeal, and that right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion. And in cause number 2019 CR 0193, you do have a limited right to appeal, and that is as it relates to the allegations in the motion. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Blanco, we can go off the record. Mr. Blanco, I understand your position. I understand you may be angry with the court right now and feel like the world has done you wrong, but you have young children and you need to make a decision whether or not you are going to straighten up your life. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you can go to prison. When you go to prison, you can either internalize and grow, or you can come back out. And if you come back out and you continue doing the same thing, you're going to look up, your children are going to be adults, and you are not going to have a significant role in their life. So it's completely up to you whether or not you want to change your life. When I place people on probation, I'm hoping that they will be successful, because I take no joy in sending people out of prison or to prison. The reason why I placed you on probation was because I wanted to give you a chance, and I thought you could be successful. And the court was aware of your drug problem. That's why as one of the conditions, I placed you in intensive outpatient treatment. I was aware that you had young children. That's why I placed you in parenting classes. And so we're here where we are now. But I wish you luck. Okay, Mr. Blanco?